Let's go on the scene right now to Houston, Texas. The Lone Star State continues to recover after Beryl battered the area. Frustrations are mounting because millions there are still without power as temperatures are now approaching the triple digits, picking up the pieces and dealing with the psychological impact of an early storm is not going to be easy. So joining us now is Dr. Robert Cuyler. He is on the scene for us in Houston. And Dr. Cuyler, you are living through this storm yourself, but fortunately you have a generator. Explain what the conditions are like in Texas, especially for those who aren't so lucky.
Yeah, well, I'm even more fortunate because my power came on 24 hours ago. It's really very mixed. There are a lot of neighborhoods that are still without power, a lot of people without generators. I was searching for propane yesterday, and there were people in terrible grocery lines getting 2 bags of ice in little styrofoam coolers to be able to keep some food fresh. This storm happened suddenly. It was expected to go way south of us, and it did a turn. Was much more severe than we were expecting, so there was not much prep time.
Dr. Cuyler, we talk about the rapid intensification of these hurricanes. We've been watching it now for the past several seasons. I'm wondering what it's like to be in a hurricane zone, and does that have you rethinking now about where you want to go? And I preface that by saying it's almost impossible to move because the interest rates are high and the houses are expensive.
Well, I'm a veteran. I grew up in New Orleans and lived through the major storms of the 60s. And, you know, I think kind of almost no matter where we are in the country, there's going to be something we're going to have to deal with, whether it's hurricanes, wildfires. It is kind of baked into the world that we live in. And for most people, myself included, moving is not really an option for many reasons.
But describe the stress, if you will, because you're a survivor, as you indicated, of past storms that really have wreaked havoc on this region and also the United States. Likely probably triggered some memories. What are some of the symptoms, I guess, of PTSD? And I was surprised when we talked about this topic that it is now a thing.
Absolutely. We're in a situation right now where we're 2 days out, but for people who have experienced prior weather traumas, that's when we begin to talk about the risk for PTSD mounting. One thing that we do know is that the majority of people may be terribly stressed by events like this, but will not develop what we call PTSD. About 25% of people who are exposed to severe trauma will end up developing, PTSD after a period of time. We usually look at a kind of a window of about 6 months. And if your stress response is not subsiding, if you're having symptoms like recurrent nightmares, essentially feeling emotionally numb, feeling angry, irritable, and that hasn't eased up in a period of months, that's when we begin to have concern that this is turning from an acute stress reaction, which is what we call the immediate aftermath, into this clinical condition that we describe as PTSD.
Dr. Robert Cuyler on the scene for us in Houston, Texas. Doctor, stay safe.
Thank you.